Hi there. Today I wanted to talk about the standout decks that I received in 2025. I actually thought I had bought 8 decks and I had bought 10, but this was the first deck I bought of the year. But I did receive more than that because I got some as gifts and some that were sent to me. And so I'm just going to go through the ones that I think were the highlights of the year that came out in 2025. And this was the first deck I bought and the first deck this year that I received. And it was the Lacrimosa Tarot. And I fell in love with it. I did get it kind of later in the year where it was almost more springtime. So I didn't use it as long. I have been using it for December. So it is one of my decks that I used a lot this month. This is by Rosebae, and it's really just a beautiful deck, but it definitely feels like that dark time of the year. And so when I got it, we were approaching spring and it was already starting to get light. But for December, this has just been really a favorite, and I'll show you pairings in my December wrap-up video. But it's really lovely, and sometimes I get tired of the curated art decks, but this one was done very well, and it was really different than anything I had had. And you'll see I have another one in here that is also very special. But I did really love this, and I kind of just love everything Rosebae does. Her collage style is just really cool. And I love how she took pieces of the art and then put it on a dark background. And I loved the borders on this. It just adds something special. So this deck for me was really special this year. And kind of, I thought, a highlight of the year. This is on Make Playing Cards. I will try and list everything and link it, but it might take me a few days. I'm just really behind on things. And we're behind on filming, behind on editing, behind on uploading, everything. And it's just been that kind of slow time of year for me. And I've been busy. And I've been sad. So this one I got, and you have a choice, but I got the red gilding. I love red gilding. I love the backs of this. I just think this is a beautiful deck. And it definitely was one of the decks this year that I thought was truly special. Oh, and I did get this Kelly bag for this deck. So I love this bag. And I knew that this bag was going to match this deck, and it matched perfectly. Another deck that I think is very special and was one of my favorite decks of the year was the Hong Kong Garden. And I don't have the box out here because I keep it in this little cute bag. And I loved this one. I just thought this was so beautiful. And I love the cardstock on it. That's another thing. And I just think it's cool. And it was one of the highlights of my year. And I got this at the beginning of the year, and I purchased this one. Maybe this was, I can't remember if this was the first or second deck. I think this was the second deck I purchased. But anyway, I had a lot of fun with this deck and really, really enjoyed it. And am still enjoying it and still keep being pulled back to it. It has a lot of pips. It is a pip deck, but I liked the pips in it. And I just enjoyed using this one, and I felt like it went with a lot of things. And I love the backs, and I love this cardstock. This cardstock is unique. It's not like anything else I've ever felt. It just is cool. Anyway, so this was a really special deck and a really fun one for me from 2025. A mass market one that came into me was the Magic Makers Tarot. And oh, did I love this deck. This has just been fun. But I love Paulina Fay's artwork. I think this is just a gorgeous deck. And if I don't receive something of hers, I'm going to buy it. I just really think this is cool. And I did kind of a low buy in 2025. And honestly, it worked really well for me. It gave me more time to play with some of the decks that I had got in last year. And so I probably will stay on that path this year. My goal is... Sorry, it's loud. I'm outside. My goal is probably to do one tarot deck and one oracle deck a month. And then, of course, if something special comes up that I want, I will buy it and then maybe not get something the next month. Anyway, I think that's been working well for me. I'm trying to get rid of decks too. And I got rid of more decks than I kept in 2025, so that was good. But I think part of it for me is I brought in I just got too many decks in 2024, mostly because of gifts. And so I really want to not bring in much and really play with things that I haven't spent enough time with. Because I have collected decks for years, but I want to be able to spend enough time with everything. And I felt like I didn't get to do that the last couple of years as much. It was better. But I feel like I just need more time and less bringing in, because I work full time. I have endless amounts of time to work with things. And I have decks that I want to work with for long periods of time. Anyway, that's the Paulina Faye Magic Makers Tarot. Highly recommend. If you don't have her decks, I think her artwork is beautiful. If you like this is a really fun one. And that's the backs. This is a US Games deck, and I did really enjoy the cardstock on this. All right. I think that maybe I got this at the end of 2024, but hadn't played with it. This is the Folkloric Forest, and I didn't really play with it till end of November, beginning of December. It would have been in my top 3 if I had. I fell in love with this deck. This deck is fantastic. It maybe has some of the best cardstock I've ever used in my life. I love the cardstock on this. I love the gold. I love the way Lennox, this is by Lennox Reese, curated this deck. It's really well done, and I just absolutely adore it. And I didn't really use it till the end of the year, because I probably would have used it a ton this year. I don't know why. I just, I had too many decks. That's why I'm trying to still kind of stay on the low buy train. Anyway, this one is fantastic and really lovely. Those are the backs, just beautiful. I wish all decks could be on this cardstock. Well, I also like the Hong Kong Garden cardstock. I guess I don't wish everything could be on it, but I wish most of my decks were on this cardstock. It's thin. It's got to be black core. It shuffles incredibly. It just feels so great in your hands. And the artwork on this is so well curated and so well done. It's just, it honestly is one of my favorite decks of the year. And I just love it. And I can't remember, this was a Kickstarter that I backed. Can't remember how, or I think it was, I can't remember. I get so mixed up with things. Anyway, I definitely knew I wanted it. And then just, now that I've played with it, I just want to play with it all the time. I love it. It's great. It's such a good deck. So happy with this one. So this is in my top 5, probably my top 3, maybe in my top 2 for the year. And I did film my top 3 tarot decks that weren't just 2025. And that's on Masha's channel. Maybe I'll post that at the end, or I'll do a separate post for it. Anyway, this would have been on there if I had used it when I made that video. or if I had used it enough. When I made that video, I hadn't spent enough time with this one. Anyway, fantastic deck. Love it. All right. One of my favorite decks of the year, Lighthouse in the Fog. I've shown this. This does come in a little teeny version too, a small version, which is also lovely. This is very large. I'll show it compared to like the Magic Makers. I don't know. So it's long and skinny. And Magic Makers is kind of a weird side. So that one, maybe not the best example. Anyway, this deck has just been so fun for me. And right now, I think currently this big version is out of print. And I don't know what the status is, but you can get the small one. And I have the small one too. It's lovely too. Anyway, I love this deck. It's 4 different artists. And it's very fun. And there's like silly parts to it. And it's very dramatic. But it just is such a fun deck for me. And I have just absolutely loved this year. It's just been a treasure for me. And it's not like anything else I have. And the swords are dark and black and white. And it is mostly a limited color palette, but then the cups and the pinnacles are more color. But the wands are kind of this brown and red. The cups have more color, but they're mostly blues. The swords are kind of this like gray and white. The pinnacles have lots of color. And then the majors are this kind of beautiful, like black, almost like a brown, and this kind of turquoise, and it's really pretty. They're beautiful. Anyway, it's really different. It's definitely noticeable that you have different art styles in it, but it has been a treasure for me, and I have really enjoyed this deck in 2025. So those are the backs, and I love the cardstock on this. This is great cardstock. It's some kind of it's definitely black core. It feels like black core. But I don't know. It's almost kind of linen-y. It's very cool. Lighthouse in the Fog is this one. One of my unicorn decks that I wanted forever, this Eliphas Levi deck, and it is done by Marco Benedetti. This was so special, and I really want to spend more time with it in 2026. I have been using it, but this is one of those decks you really need to dig into, and I really was hoping somebody would produce this. And so when I saw this, I just could hardly contain myself. I was so excited. It's just amazing. And I have swapped cards out, so you'll notice there's like differences in color and things. This is an old deck that was based on a deck by Bernardin Suzanne, and then Eliphas Levi wrote on it, and then also drew some of his own cards. So those are included. And I have some books about this deck, and so I'm going to dive into this in 2026. I did not have the time I wanted to work with this year, and so that is a goal for 2026. And I'm just so excited about this. There's Jupiter and Juno in here, and I replaced those. But they came, so some of the cards you see are darker. Anyway, there's lots of information about this out there. It was something truly special and one of my favorite decks this year, and something I was super excited about. Okay, one of my most beautiful decks this year is the Whisper of Stars and Garden. I had backed the blue one. It did not make it to me because of an accident with the truck running over the deck. Anyway, so I have the purple version, and they did tell me when they got the blue one in, they would send it to me, but who knows when that will be. But so they replaced it with this, and then they said when they get the blue one back in, they will send me the deck. but the fronts are the same. The cardstock is rose petally and lovely. This deck I just find to be incredibly beautiful, a good reader. Just thought it was gorgeous, and I've really had a lot of fun with it. And it's definitely in my top decks of the year. It came in late. I got so many good decks this year. It was insane. So I also saw tons of great decks that I didn't get. And there was a couple that I really wanted that I didn't get because I found out they were AI, and so I'm trying not to buy anything that is AI. Sometimes it's hard to tell because one of the ones I wanted was a Llewellyn deck, and it was totally my style, but I found out it was AI, and I think as a 2026, Llewellyn is not going to use AI decks anymore, but in 2025, they hadn't made that policy yet. So I did not get it, but this one was just pure delight, pure fun, absolutely beautiful, and I was just super happy with it. Maureen from Waves of Your Soul talks about this one. This one does have 2 extra cards. I think it was maybe on one of her tags, it was her most beautiful deck, and you can see why. Anyway, it's a gorgeous deck. The gilding is really nice on it. Those are the backs. There was 3 different versions. And another very beautiful one is the Tarocchi Italiani, the Valentina De Luca Matronua Tarot. This one is just so beautiful. It's one of my most beautiful decks, maybe my most beautiful deck of the year. So this deck has been on a few channels, and I think it's been really popular. I think it is, I heard a rumor it's coming out mass market, which I would definitely get it in the mass market version, because although this cardstock is lovely, it is difficult for me to shuffle it. And I am a riffler shuffler, and that's really how I work with my decks. So if it comes out in a mass market version, I'm going to buy it. But so I'm using this carefully because this cardstock is more like art paper and it does bend. But I do think it is exceptional, and the artwork is just stunning. And so I have been working with this a little bit, and will be working with it in 2026. And it did have 2 lovers cards. Here's the other lovers card, but I kept this one in the deck. It's just a gorgeous deck and really fun to have. So I do think it is one of the best decks of 2025. Gorgeous deck. All right, another one that I just fell in love with is The Infinite Door by Pamela Love. Art by Chris Manecki. This is a surreal deck, and it's just so cool. Those are the backs. I just was so impressed with this one. I love this deck, and I love working with it. And I think it's just super cool. And I was shocked by it. Like, I got it because it looked cool. I think it's super cool. And I like the cardstock on it. I think the cardstock is great. Sorry about that. Somebody came over to my house. So anyway, I love the art in this deck. I think it's so cool. It's not AI. But it's really fun. It's just was unique and cool and really fun to use. And it's mass market. But it was one of the delights of the mass market decks that came out. And everybody's going to have their different things they like. But for me, this one was just cool and unique and different and fun. And I do like surreal art. Not everybody likes that, but for me, I think it's cool. I love the devil. The devil's so cool. But there were so many of them that I thought were so cool. And it's very pastel-y, which was kind of fun. And I just have totally enjoyed this one. And we'll keep using it because I just think I'm not done with it. I think it's really fun. Love it. This is a great one for 2025. I don't love the backs, but I don't hate them. I just received this, and already I love it. This is by Nova Mundi. It's from Make Playing Cards. It's the Bacus Tarot. Oh my goodness. I love this deck. Oh, by the way, this is only tarot decks. I'm going to do a separate Best Oracle decks of 2025. And again, these are my own opinions. I'm not saying that these are the best decks for everyone. These were the best decks for me. And I love this. I think it's colorful, beautiful. Nova redrew everything and then recolored it. And I just think this deck is so fun. And I have some of her other decks, but oh, this one just blew my mind. I thought it was so great. I just loved it. I love it now. I mean, it's not that I loved it before. I just think it's so cool. Such a beautiful Marseille style deck. Really, really nice. So I'm super excited to play with this one more. And I think this one's been very popular this year. But well-deserved. And great job, Nova. Really cool deck. Okay, so that is the Bacus Tarot by Nova Mundi. And I will try and link everything down below. But it'll probably be a few days. Okay, and it'll probably take me a few days to get this posted. But, love this. Okay, one that is really fun, that is kind of silly, but I love aliens and the whole alien thing. I'm not a Star CD person, but I do love just the fun of aliens. This is by Pamela, Chen, and Alexandra Hanley. This is a mass market deck. I think I saw this on Simon's channel. This one I did not buy, but it is, I love it. It's so fun. I've been playing with it in December, and I got it earlier in the year. It's so great. I just think it's so cool, and it's just really fun. I do enjoy kind of like a spacey theme because I love sci-fi, and this is a very sci-fi deck, and it's just a joy. I love that strength, and it's just a fun deck, and I like the cardstock, and a lot of times I don't like a house cardstock, but this cardstock's really actually quite nice, and it shuffles well. It feels good in the hand. It's kind of rose petally, and it doesn't feel like it's going to bend and not snap back. It's been snapping back pretty good, and I've used it quite a bit. So really happy with this one, and love that this one is mass market because I have some other kind of alien space decks that are fun, but they're all indie, or one of them I think might be mass market, but this one I've had a really good time with, and I just think it's one of the really fun sci-fi decks that came out in 2025 and worth having. Just super cool. So anyway, I really, really was happy with this. And those are the backs. I think it's a really fun deck. Okay, Crystal Tarot, such a great deck. They really did a nice job on the redoing of this deck. And I was really impressed. I actually really like what they did with this. And I haven't spent a lot of time playing with it. I have the old version, and a trimmed and a regular. But this, I don't know that I would have trimmed this. This is a little bit glossy. I don't know if you can tell that. I think you can. I don't know if it's reflective or not. But anyway, I really think this is beautiful. I've always loved this deck, but I was really happy with what they did with this. And I don't know that the backs are my favorite, but I like the bigger artwork. I like how I think that this line was original to the original paintings or something, but I like how they carried it through. And I'm sure you've seen this, but anyway, I do think this was one of the really top decks of 2025 and really beautiful. It's got that stained glass look and it's just gorgeous, but it's not the just plain old Rider-Waite-Smith stained glass. It's its own thing. It's really a pretty deck. All right, another standout deck from 2025 is the Cracked Amythest Tarot. This was a Kickstarter. I did back this. It's from Jessica Bott, and she is the creator of the Idiosyncratic deck and the Amythest Oracle, and she has a bunch of other decks. Anyway, and I did get the little Idiosyncratic and Amythest with it, and I'll show pairings in a different video, but I have paired this with the Amythest Oracle. But anyway, I think this was just so well done. It's very witchy and cool and very beautiful, and I really like it borderless. I like the bordered version, the Idiosyncratic, but I also really like this version. And it was a delight. The cardstock is fantastic. It's kind of rose petally, but easy to shuffle. And a really just wonderful, beautiful deck. And I started using this late. I don't know why, because I was using other things. But now that I have used it, I do thoroughly enjoy it and think it is fantastic. It's a really good one, and I'm super happy with it. And I think this has also just been very popular. Many of these have been super popular this year. Look at that tower. It totally looks like Hawaii there. Looks like Pele that look like this. And then they blow fire out. And we've been having so many eruptions lately. It's just kind of cool. And you can drive down and see the eruptions right now. It's very beautiful. You have been able to all of 2025. It just comes and goes, but it's been really exciting. Anyway, very cool deck. Totally beautiful and just a very witchy deck. Very well done. I think this is, I don't know. You know, I don't know about anything and if anything's around or not nowadays. I'm so out of touch. I barely watched any YouTube and there's like magic in 2025. I'm going to probably watch more in 2026, but part of like the low buy was I just didn't watch videos. And that worked for me, but I don't think I need to do that anymore. Now I'm in a better habit. I'm buying less decks. Anyway, great deck. Beautiful. Those are the backs. The backs are gorgeous. Really fun. And the box is beautiful too. That's the back. A straight up Marseille deck that I got was the Vashier. This is the Eves or No deck. This is one of my favorites. It's very cool. And so this was a treasure this year. And I love Marseille decks, so, you know, you either love them or you don't. Or sometimes you don't love them and then you love them at some point. But anyway, this one was a favorite. Loved the grays. I just thought this was a cool deck. And I use this a lot. And I just had a really good time with it. And I think this was kind of popular too. Did this come out? I thought this came out. It could have came out the end of last year. I used it a lot this year. Anyway, great deck, really fun. One of the top ones for the year for me. This actually says 2024. So, okay, maybe I made a mistake. So that could have been a 2024 purchase. All right, This one took me by surprise. It was a Kickstarter that I did not back, and I did purchase this after. This deck I thought was beautiful. I think maybe I can't show everything because I could get in trouble. Anyway, it's a Greek deck. It's gorgeous, and it's unique and fun, and I am playing with it now and really liking it, and I was surprised by it. I don't know why I didn't back it. I can't remember. Anyway, I have it now. This one, don't know what the status is. You know, I just don't know the status of things. Anyway, if it's available, I'll at least link all the names of things. I'm not sure if I'll get to the links, but this is a good one. It's got too much nudity. I may have to cut some of this out. Anyway, great deck. Fun deck. Too much nudity for YouTube, though, I'm sure. This mass market Bonestone and Earthflesh Blue Angel. It's by Avalon Cameron. Art by Anaturian. Is definitely a standout. Probably my favorite mass market deck of the year. But I will say that, okay, first of all, I've shown this, and it is back in order because I was doing a walkthrough of it. I already had this deck, so it's kind of not new to me in some ways. I have the indie version of it. But I do think I'm going to mention it because it's one of the best decks of the year, and it's mass market, so it should get attention. It's gorgeous. I mean, everything about this deck is fantastic. Cardstock, the look of it, the guidebook, everything is amazing. I just can't speak highly enough of it. And I've shown this before, and I just am so impressed. They did such a nice job with this. And I still probably will keep my indie, but oh my goodness. Knocked it out of the park. Good job, Blue Angel. Really impressive job on this. And Anaturian's art, to me, is just absolutely gorgeous. And Avalon knows so much and is such a great witchy writer, so that the guidebook is great. Love it. Really well done. Okay, fantastic indie deck was the Forest Spirit Imprint. Oh, I love this deck. I've also shown this one quite a bit. It was great. It's a great deck. Very beautiful. And just, this one was a delight to use and just super fun. And not super expensive. And it just is so sweet. And sometimes you just need these sweet decks. And I love the art in it. I love the cardstock. It had a smell when I first got it, which has gone away. It was kind of intense, but that went away. Anyway, I do really treasure this one. I'm super happy to have it. And it's just a totally cool, fun deck. It's that kind of cool Asian style. I have a weakness for these kind of decks. You've probably noticed that. Anyway, lovely, wonderful deck. Super happy about it. Definitely one of the highlights of the year. And Kickstarter was one of the smoothest Kickstarters ever. It just, like, I felt like I backed it and then the deck was here. I got little extras and things. It was really cool. So very good experience with this. I'm not doing Kickstarters right now. I can't see that, but I'm not doing a lot. This is US Star Wheel Games that produced this. Very awesome deck. All right, another delight for me was this deck by M.M. Moline. I showed this in November and December, I think. It's in the decanic order. Anyway, this came with a book. It's got, I don't know if you can tell right now, but the backs are just gorgeous. I wanted a small version of the deck because I'm gone from home so much, and I just wanted a little travel version. I use the big one for my decanic work, so I wanted something I could just bring with me, and I was just delighted to get this. So this is based on Crowley's 777 and the Picatrix, and I'm sure if you know about this deck and like that kind of stuff, you probably know about this, but I really wanted a small version of it, and I'm just super happy. Standout for me. Didn't come in till November, but delightful. Okay, another standout of the year, and this deck is not new to me because I have the indie version, but the Labano Tarot, which is such a great deck, and I just have to shout it out because I did not buy this one. This was given to me, but I think the job they did on this was fantastic. And I'm super happy with it. Shuffles great. It's got nice edging that's kind of matte. And it's not, I don't think it's black core, but it does shuffle well and it does seem to snap back. And I was just really happy with the quality of this. And it could be better, but it's good. And this deck is great. And to make it available for everyone, because it was so sought after, because it's really such a good deck. So this is definitely a highlight of the year. Really love this deck. And I still use my indie one, and I'll still keep my indie one. But I like having the mass market. Then I can travel with it, and I don't have to worry about it. It's great. Really fun. Beautiful deck. And reads so well. And it gives you a little something extra because it's definitely a unique deck. And this one I could get in trouble for showing, but it doesn't have as many things that are crazy. It has a few cards, but most of them are okay. Anyway, lovely deck. Nice job. Really happy with what they did here. And this was Llewellyn. So I'm like, okay, Llewellyn did a really nice job on this deck. Super impressed. And you know, like, don't love that, but whatever. Overall, really nice job. Okay, I just want to call out this again, and I think I've talked about this before. This is the Celtic Elemental Tarot. It's a mass market deck by, sometimes I have to move my incense because it's too strong. So this is by Anne Kate Sullivan, illustrated by Belle Crow de Cray. It does divide up the deck, but I thought this deck was very cool. It's got quite a guidebook in it, which is kind of cool. And then we have some spreads at the back. Anyway, this deck has a very old art style that reminds me of art from the 80s and 90s, and I just thought it was cool. I'm excited. It's very Celtic, as you can see. I'm really excited to keep playing with this one. And I've played with it some. It reads great. And I just am happy with this one. I think it's really beautiful. I really enjoy this art. And it feels like a little bit like going back in time. You could almost use it with the Arthurian decks. So very beautiful deck. Standout of the year for sure. Mass market deck. The cardstock on this, I will say, is not my favorite. I mean, it's fine, but it's not great cardstock. I wish they had spent a little bit of money and did more with the cardstock here. But I do appreciate the style and that we have a deck like this that came out this year, because it's very vintagey feeling. Like, I was surprised this wasn't an old deck. But very cool. Super happy. These are the backs. Backs could be better, but overall, a solid deck. Thanks for watching. I will try and do an Oracle one that lists my standout Oracle decks from 2025. See you in the new year.